You got arrested with a gun within 6 months of you being placed on probation. And I agree with the state that you're not a candidate for probation. And for that reason, sir, I'm going to revoke the balance of 9 years and 6 months.
It's been over a year since the arrest of Young Thug and Gunna in the state of Georgia YSL RICO trial with so many changes. First, Gunna, Young Thug's right-hand man, took a plea deal that involved him specifically saying that YSL the gang is different from YSL the label, which dismantles Young Thug's biggest defense. Now, Gunna went on to elaborate how he's a member of YSL, the criminal organization that was allegedly led by Young Thug. Many people viewed Gunna taking a plea deal as him snitching, labeling him a rat, particularly Boosie and Lil Durk. Now, Gunna's been in jail for over 6 months and finally addressed the allegation trying to clear his name on his first day out song, Bread and Butter. F them boys, I found out who my real partner is, and who's only with me cause I had dollars. Never F up a nigga, always stayed solid. Kept real niggas, never lied, and always stayed honest. Artists in hip hop, particularly Atlanta, had a swift switch of energy when Gunna was released from jail. Originally, when Gunna was released, Philly rapper Meek Mill embraced him on Twitter with open arms, thanking him for keeping it solid. However, when we also saw the video of him saying YSL's a gang and yes man being all polite, Meek Mill quickly deleted the tweet and everyone turned their back against Gunna. The question hip hop fans have right now is, what is an Alford plea? Now up until December 2022, the whole world didn't even know what Alford plea was, and we're starting to feel it was actually made up. We just saw Gunna, one half of our favorite Atlanta rap crew, Young Thug and Gunna, come home, and we thought we was lit. In a nutshell, the conditions of Alford plea is very contradicting. You basically plead guilty, however maintain innocence at the same time, and I'm not sure how it even works. Originally when Gunna was locked up, him and Thug were denied bail on 3 separate occasions over the span of 6 to 7 months. Now all of a sudden, Gunna gets let home on an Alford plea. Now, one thing I will say is, for the longest time, I thought Gunna was one of the most mid rappers, overhyped rappers ever. Yes, I heard Drip or Drown, but up until I heard Drip Season 4 that came out in 2022, I finally hopped on the bandwagon and said, Gunna is him. However, we can't take away from accountability in this situation because he basically put Young Thug in a tough spot. Because by him agreeing that YSL is a gang, Young Thug's biggest defense, Young Thug can't make bail. You know, Gunna made bail because he wasn't really involved. He had one racketeering conspiracy charge, which would have gave him maximum 5 years. But I actually had a conversation about this with one of my friends. When it comes to Gunna, it's like, we don't view Gunna as like the street rapper, you know, the nose wiper, the slatinum, you know, slime. That's how we view Young Thug, and this ain't to incriminate Thug, but it's just, you know, the picture that we're painting. Gunna's like, you know, the fashion guy, you know, affiliated with the street rappers. He knows Baby, he knows Thug. We don't view Gunna as a killer in that light. But since he's around the killers, he has to have that same type of energy and, you know, stand up to the code. And, you know, for the most fans that are like, you know, mess with his music, some people don't care that he allegedly told because he didn't have to say any information about anyone specifically, but he did confirm crucial information that will be used to indict Young Thug in this trial going on right now. So the Gunna really tells my question because he didn't really say anyone's name, but then he could say also it's dry snitching, and snitching is like, you know, on the river, on the bank. You know, there's no in between the river or the bank. It's you did it or you didn't. And people lean towards him putting some information or heat on Thug, so they're going to say that he did tell. What valuable information did Gunna give up so that he could be free? Now, we all know life, nothing is free. You have to pay with your life, you have to pay with your time, you have to pay with your money. And for Gunna to be released, he definitely paid money for the lawyer and paid time to get him out of jail. Now, I feel like Gunna is in a tough spot because he really didn't say anything too incriminating. However, he said just enough to get himself off the jam, but leaving Thug behind. But like I said, Thug is his man who put him in a position to make millions of dollars, and most people wouldn't even know Gunna if it wasn't for Thug. So basically, you gotta hold it down. The head honcho, slime. Oftentimes in life, people bend their morals and standards to justify the actions of others. It's like when 6ix9ine told people were heavy on KAR, kill all rats. They were not messing with 6ix9ine. They wanted him to be dead. They wanted him to be out of America. But when Gunna had his, let's say, dry stitching, because he really didn't give any crucial info on anyone. People are like, I don't even know, man. Gunna really ain't, you know, he ain't telling me though. You know, I'm gonna still listen to, you know, Drip Season, Drip Too Hard, might stand too close, might F around and drown. I'll just wave. But, you know, people pick and choose, and the music industry is selective politic and business. Now, digging deeper into the lyrics of Bread and Butter, Gunna went off. Love my bro so much I never changed on him. Nigga ain't give me shit, I grind so long, came from the damn bottom. Every nigga speaking on my name could have some real problems. The first 2 bars was an appreciation for Young Thug. However, everything else was a subliminal towards Lil Durk. Recently, Lil Durk sat down with academics and expressed his strong feelings towards Gunna.
Do you believe that Gunna is a snitch? Huh? Do you believe that Gunna told?
Man, I don't sit up and play games, man. That man told. You should have went in there and kept your mouth closed. If you a rat, you a rat. And if you rewind this clip a little bit, I looked into the camera and I told you, if you a rat, I fucking hate you. Cause I love Thug.
Lil Durk didn't bite his tongue and let his feelings be known. One reason why I feel like Lil Durk has such a strong hate towards snitching is because his own dad went to jail for 26 years because he didn't snitch on Larry Hoover, and basically someone, I believe, told on him. So snitching is the emotional trigger for Lil Durk. His dad was away for most of his life because his dad wouldn't snitch on Larry Hoover. And basically we have Gunna essentially dry snitch on Young Thug, putting Thug in a tough position. And we all know Durk, Baby, 21, all these street rappers, they love Thug. I'm not sure why this even matters, but Gunna wasn't followed by Lil Baby, and with him being one of the most street rappers and street presence in the hip hop scene, his decision was basically law, and people followed in that footsteps. Now, due to Gunna and Baby having history with the Drip or Drown, the multiple tapes that they're on, he felt away and addressed Lil Baby. Peeping shit, I'm seeing niggas fall back. You bitch ass niggas got me as the topic of the chat. You switched on me when you know you're in business with a rat. And the boy that's like your brother, ain't nobody speak on that. Now, Gunna came out shooting aiming for the head. Basically, what he's talking about is QCP, the owner of Quality Control Music, the same label that the Migos is signed to, Lil Baby, Lil Yachty, and the City Girls. And it recently came out that, according to 1090 Jake, the paperwork police, he found cooperation paperwork of QCP allegedly being involved in something that he basically cooperated on someone that tried to kill him or his brother back in Atlanta, like 2010, 2011. Now, I'm not sure with all the details and stuff like that, but basically, apparently it was enough for 1090 Jake to make a whole video on it. And people are saying that, this is something that was known in Atlanta, of course, that he allegedly cooperated with police, but he's, started a record label now. And basically, one thing I wonder is how does 1090 Jake get all his paperwork, because it's just not adding up how he's the only person with all his paperwork. It's like, where is he getting this paperwork from? Like, we know he was in jail before, we know he has blood affiliations and what he did, like, he did what he did, whatever. But it's like, where are you getting this paperwork from? That's what I want to know. I feel like only police have these files. How are you getting this paperwork? Like, that's what I want to know. So for Gunna's perspective, he's saying, you're signed to a rat. Why are you worrying about what I'm doing if I'm not even putting anyone in jail? He put someone in jail, started a record label, putting money in your pocket, but you're not budging an eye because he's putting money in your pocket. Like, what's up with that? As I said before, the music industry is very picky and choosy, scandalous business. Now, Young Thug's younger brother, Unfunk, his blood younger brother, was one of the five that took a plea deal back in December 2022, although Gunna made headlines because he was the bigger artist. Now, Unfunk actually violated his probation last week, and he got sentenced to 9 years and 6 months in prison. And it's crazy because all he had to do was stay away from guns, stay away from gang members, and less than 6 months after, he's back in the same position and got sentenced to 9 years. Now, probation, in my opinion, is a trap. They make very strict guidelines such as you can't use drugs, you can't be around firearms, and it's like, you live in the slums, you're from the type of environment, so when you leave jail, you're going back to that environment. So it's a trap. You can't use guns, you can't be around gang members, you can't use narcotics, you can't do everything that you're so accustomed to doing, living that street life. And the feds notice, they know you're gonna mess up. They gave you 10-year probation. They know you might not mess up this year, we'll give it 9 more. And 6 months in, you're back in there. It's crazy. Like, these feds know what they're doing with the prosecutors. It's like, I can only imagine what Young Thug is thinking. Young Thug is thinking like, okay, at least my baby bro's home. He can maybe do something for me. But baby bro is riding around in the car with a strap, gets pulled over. The judge is like, yo, I let you out of prison. I was showing you leniency, but you clearly don't care about that, and you're clearly trying to be a menace, so you can go back to the correctional facility and stay in jail. Even though he's Young Thug's brother, Unfunk is not really that big of a rapper. Just looking at all his discography on YouTube and stuff like that, he doesn't have much things going on right now. I'm not going to say that his freedom doesn't matter because, yes, he is a young black man, but choices are choices at the end of the day. It's like they let you out. You don't know how many members are still fighting for their life, not getting bail, even though they're not as high up as Young Thug, and you got out and made a stupid mistake. It's like you give people a chance to just act dumb. Like, it just, like, what was the reason? Like, what was the reason? Like, I'm thinking these are just habits that they built from since they're young. And it's like, the judge lets you out, you just go buck wild, you stay under the radar. But no, these guys are going wild, in the whip with a gun, and getting caught up doing stupid stuff. Like, there's no reason. Gunna and Unfunk failed Young Thug miserably. Gunna's right-hand man's copped the plea and left Young Thug in jail. It's almost like they all went out to eat for dinner, and they are slowly dining and dashing, leaving Young Thug to pay the bill, aka a 20-year prison sentence. Young Thug was so loyal to all these guys, put in positions to get money. However, on the easiest convenience, they were out of there. It's also a double standard because when Gunna got out, he was not the only person to take a plea deal where he probably had to be on video saying why sells a gang XYZ, because I doubt his plea deal was that much different than anyone else. However, we only saw his video, and Unfunk probably had to say the same thing, but the DA never leaked that video, and that's why even in the song he said, DA did some sneaky shit, I fell for it. And I don't want to say he fell for it because they read the question, could have said no, but you have to agree to everything to be let out, and Gunna won out of jail. We hear about the YSL, Atlanta, Fulton County, inhumane conditions, and Gunna wanted out. but out at what cost? This Young Thug trial started in January, and 5 months later, no major progressions have been made. They're still in the preliminary hearings, they haven't had the open statements, and nothing has been moving along in this case. Lawyers are refusing to come to court, having to write 20-page papers, losing material, losing iPads, losing all type of crazy stuff, and it's just so unorganized. With Gunna being labeled a snitch and potentially blackballed, and Unfunk making stupid decisions to be sentenced to 9 years in jail, and Young Thug facing 20 years in jail, is this the end of slime life? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Jared Star, I'm gone.